Sheriff Benny Martinez spent 29 years as a Texas state trooper and is now sheriff of Brooks County, Texas. Good to see you, sir. How many people are we talking about die trying to make it across?
Well, last year alone, we had 119. This is where the morgue came into play and get us to hold him while we get him processed and identified.
Are we to understand that the people who have come across who end up dying, almost all of those would be gotaways? The Border Patrol hasn't intercepted them. The Texas state troopers haven't intercepted them. And they're heading into the United States hoping for a better life? Sheriff, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now, yes.
Okay, are we to believe that the people who have come across who are in these morgues and have died, as you talk to the ones that make it, have many talked to you about the promises that they were made and why they believed they should risk their life to come to America?
There's been a few that I have personally interviewed, and yes, they say the same thing. It's the same rhetoric that they have jobs waiting for them, or they have somewhere to go and employment, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the rhetoric that I hear constantly.
Obviously, it's changed in terms of just sheer numbers between the Trump administration and the Biden administration. As you talk to the people and you've interviewed them, does the president's rhetoric and the new border policies have a lot to do with their decision to take this risk?
Well, we definitely don't have any type of structure along the border. We definitely need that. And this is kind of like the end result of that not occurring. They're going to keep coming. Of course, Title 42 will be going off here, by the end of the month, and that's really going to enhance our body count on our end.
Is there an explanation, if somebody really cares about these migrants and their lives, is there an explanation for the open border policy? I don't understand how you let people across the border and encourage them to cross and say that you'll likely be freed into the United States when so many die trying to do it.
Well, absolutely. There's no explanation for that. I don't know exactly what they're thinking or what's going on. I do know that cartels are definitely, the smugglers, definitely taking advantage of this issue. And that's the ones that are actually making the money.
We keep hearing from Border Patrol that they are overwhelmed. Obviously, the Texas state troopers and National Guard have come out, but there's no structure to them, and there's no ability for them to enforce federal laws on federal property. They can only enforce state laws on state property. I know your sheriff's deputies run into the same thing. There is talk of Governor Abbott declaring an invasion of some type that would allow him to give his National Guard effective war powers. Is that something that would work, or is this like trying to close the barn door now that the horses are gone?
Well, we're definitely way behind the eight ball on this issue. The governor is definitely making every effort to kind of stop this flow that everyone wants to refer to as. So it's one of those issues that needs to be addressed and needs to be done quickly.
I'm guessing if you've got the morgues and you've got as many people who have died trying that you do, there have been people who you and your deputies rescued sort of right on the verge of death and were able to save. I'm wondering if any of them talked to you about whether or not it was worth it, why they were willing to take this risk, and how they were dealing with this near-death experience.
Well, it's really difficult at times. Relatives which are in Mexico or various other countries as to why this was occurring. Why it's happening. Some of them do get recruited to do this. Some of them make plans to do this. They pay a lot of money to come across. And the fact that there's no structure right now, there's no guardrails.
Yep.
I don't even know why they do that. All they got to do is come across the port of entry and they're going to get accepted. A lot of it has to do with the criminal history. We have a lot of criminals coming through that we don't even address.
Right. So they can't turn themselves in because they will get deported. So they risk it walking through the desert. Sheriff, it was good to see you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.